I'm going to show you how to fix this Vizio TV with model number M70-D3. When I power it up, I get no standby light at the bottom left corner. If I try to power it on, I still don't get picture. So let's open it up and find out why. Now that we've removed the back cover, we're going to do some voltage checks on some of our circuit boards. Using our multimeter in DC mode, we're going to use our chassis as ground. And on our top connector, we're going to measure the AC detect, which is 3.9 volts, so that's good. And then pins 7 through 10 is our 16 volts lines, and we are getting our 16 volts. To me, this confirms that our power supply is in working order and that our main board is the most likely defect. Now, something we can do to troubleshoot our main board further is to heat it up with our hot air gun. We're going to do about 25 seconds of hot air on the heatsink. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and power our TV back on, and we're gonna take a look at our IR sensor right over here, and we now get our light. We were not getting the standby light before. So we're gonna press our power button and the standby light comes back on, and we can now tell through the holes of the chassis that we do have backlight. Okay, and now we have the Vizio logo. So that does confirm that the main board is the issue. To remove the main board, we're gonna start by taking off our shrouds, then the antenna connectors, and those we're just lifting up. The ribbon just wiggles out. For these ribbons, we have to pinch the sides and wiggle out. And now we can unscrew the main board. Because heating up the heatsink allowed the TV to temporarily work, let's remove it and find out what's underneath. We just found two processors beneath the heatsink, and you'll notice that there are no pins on the perimeter of those two processors. What that means is that these processors are connecting to the main board via a ball grid array, otherwise known as BGA. The ball grid arrays can over time develop microfractures in the joints, causing data to not be able to flow between the processor and the rest of the main board. By heating it up, we're going to create thermal expansion, temporarily reforming those bonds, and that's why heating up the heatsink allowed the TV to temporarily work. So our next step to fix this main board is to reflow both of those processors to reform those bonds. Now that both of the processors have been reflowed, let's go ahead and clean up some of that flux. We're going to use isopropyl alcohol, and actually we're going to use a metal brush here, lightly scrubbing it. Now this is no clean flux, so we don't actually technically need to remove it, but I just want to make it nice and clean. Now, instead of reinstalling the same thermal pads that were on there originally, what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade it a little bit. We're going to use some MX-4 thermal compound instead. It's going to help with better heat transfer between the processor and the heatsink. And then one more modification we're going to do is we're going to add this thermal pad that's going to go around the die and help with heat transfer with the rest of the chip to the heatsink. Now we can put our heatsink back on. And we'll notice I just removed it, that we have nice spread of the thermal compound. So that does confirm we've put enough and we have good contact. And now we're ready to live test the board back in the TV. All right, we've installed the main board back into the TV set. We're gonna go ahead and press power and let's take a look. Our white standby light is present now. It was not before. It just faded out. So now we can go ahead and press power. It reappeared. Take a look at our screen. And now we have our Vizio logo. Okay, and our picture is now displaying properly. If you're interested in sending in your main board for us to fix, we'll have links to our website. We have flat rate repair services with 1-year warranties, and that will be in the description down below. If you found the video helpful or useful, make sure to leave us a like, subscribe for more content, and thank you for watching.